Philo,
Yeah, man.
how you doing today?
I'm good, bro. Good. Just chilling. Another
Mm-hmm.
day, you know what I'm saying? In my environment. So comfortable.
So one thing I want to say before we start this interview, it's an honor to be interviewing you.
Appreciate you, brother.
This is we've been trying to do this for a long
Yeah,
time,
yeah, yeah.
but
Yeah, yeah.
we here now.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, we
Better
go
late
way
than
back.
never. You know what
Nah,
I'm
for
saying? I
sure.
mean, I'm pretty sure since the first time we was originally supposed to do it, I was probably doing some whole other shit anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, it's full circle. You know what I'm
Where
saying?
where so for the people that don't
Yeah.
know where we at, can you tell people
Oh yeah.
exactly where our
We in the Mecca
okay?
right now. We at Lando Gold's Verrett Dental Center down here in Liberty City, Miami, Florida. You know what I'm saying? Making it happen. This is where I work. This is where my father works. This is where my family works. Yeah, family business. You know what I'm saying? The
Mm.
grills and stuff like that. So we right here, man. 79 and 30th by Trade Dues, right by where USA Flea Market used to be, across the
Yeah,
street from North Side. Still making it happen, man. You know, don't know how long we'll be here, but still glad to be serving the community still.
that's a blessing.
That's what it's about. Yeah, indeed.
That's a blessing. Shit, you in my hometown,
Yeah,
so
nah, yeah,
we from the
yeah.
city, so it's
Facts,
nothing but
facts,
love. I had to
facts.
definitely get this. I feel like your family just been in the game for so long, and we gonna get to the book, but
Mm,
just even looking at the book, just seeing like the history, how long you guys been here in the
yeah,
other
man.
different cities,
Word,
is
word.
crazy.
Before here, my dad been here, I think, for 12, 13 years or so. But prior to this, he used to be in USA Flea Market,
Mm-hmm.
back by where the carnival used to be at. That
Oh yeah,
area.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that area. And yeah, man, they armed him up out of there because, you know, at first he was doing his thing, but then eventually everybody in there was trying to do the goals, the pullouts or whatever, and more of them than it was of him. And yeah, so they got him up out of there. They came here to Verrett Dental, opened up black-owned business. Our dentist is black, Dr. Verrett. So
That's
like,
dope.
yeah, you know, kind of leaving one situation, end up in a better one.
Right.
That's usually how life work out. So yeah, man, like I said, love being here with it, you know, not in
Mm-hmm.
fucking Brickell somewhere,
Yeah.
doing some shit that's not really true to the art itself, nor what we're about. So it
Right.
makes sense. Yeah, for sure.
Right. So for the people that don't know who you are, introduce yourself. And
Um,
who is Philo?
who is Philo? Many different people know me for many different things. But I'm Philip. That's the government, you know what I'm saying? Some people know me as Philo. Some people know me as OB. Some people know me as Philovian. Some people know me as Lando's son. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, it's just a matter of whatever you into. That's what your people might know me from. But um, I'm just a servant of the community, man. A servant to the culture. I ain't nobody, but I'm everybody at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Literally though,
You literally
literally.
though, like I ain't nobody, but I'm everybody. You know, I'm everybody except you. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So. But I do grills. I've been in the grill business for about 4 years, following my family legacy. My family been obviously doing goals for about 40 years. The originators of Pull Out Gold Teeth. But prior to that, people around the city might know me for fashion. People around the city might know me for my days with music. So like literally, man, to other people, I'm so many different things. But to me, I'm just somebody just experimenting with life. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Pressing buttons, seeing what them bitches do. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? So
right. And I
uh,
like that because I'm kind of like the same thing, always trying different things and
yeah,
just trying to,
yeah.
you know, push those buttons and take it to the next level in those different mediums. So
Right,
I definitely feel that
right.
for
Because
sure.
I mean, at the end of the day, a title is just a word. You know what I'm saying? And like we got words and definitions for how we feel, but then we don't have words for everything. You know, so it's
Mhm.
not a word that could truly encapsulate who I am, what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? Literally,
Right.
it's just feel me. Whatever envelope you know me in, that's how you consume me. But at the end of the day, to me, shit, niggas just be doing shit. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure, for
Niggas just
sure.
really just be doing shit. So yeah, man.
Before we discuss where you at in life today,
Mm-hmm.
I want to start with your upbringing growing up. What were you like as a kid?
Uh, Curious. I'm the youngest of three brothers, so I had two older brothers who was consuming culture at its peak. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Hmm.
29, about to be 30, so obviously I came up early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? Getting an understanding for everything, and that just so happened to be the golden era for culture in a lot of ways. So as a kid, I'm just naturally curious. I obviously grew up around the culture of gold teeth, my family being involved in the business. So I'd be in their environments, in that ecosystem, kind of just absorbing. So as a kid, I would say I was really observant and absorbing of the shit around me. And then obviously as I grew older, you learn how to kind of output all of that you have in there. So yeah, but for the most part, I spent my childhood at the shop playing sports. I played ball for like 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Just growing up in the city type shit. Like, but when I was old enough to know that I wasn't gonna make it to the league, I just tried to shift my attention elsewhere and kind of just experiment with just whatever it was that I felt passionate about. But I was passionate about the culture I consume. So really, I'm a what's the word? Connoisseur, I guess, of the culture in so many ways that it's like literally my whole being revolves around culture, however you really want to put it. But music, sports, video games, being outside, you know what I'm saying? Going outside, hooping, coming home, logging on Nike Talk, you know what I'm saying? Like really diving into what it is to understand the shit that's going on around me.
Right.
I'm naturally at the shop, so I'm naturally already listening to music that's way beyond my bounds. So that explains why I'm into the music, like and how I am. So
I could imagine the flea market.
The flea there. But when I say the shop as a kid, I'm talking about that shop. But I also used to go to Atlanta every summer and be at Eddie's Gold Teeth. You know what I'm saying? So like you got outcasts walking in on a random Saturday of my life. I'm 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? You got 112, Young Bloods, Yin Yang Twins, Ludacris. I'm seeing these people. These are my peers. I'm a kid about yay high, but I understand what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like I understood what was going on at a real young age. I ain't had no motherfucking choice.
Right.
And then once I did, it was kind of always just a matter of trying to find out what to do with that information, what to do with all that culture stored in my body. So that's what my childhood was just absorbing for real.
That's crazy. And then also just, you know, when you say Nike Talk, you gotta understand from Miami perspective,
man.
Like
niggas
wasn't on like that. You feel
till this day. Trust me. With me, it goes super deep, man. It's so many layers. And I know this interview could really last long if I really got into them all. So I'm gonna try to touch them gracefully. But man, it's so many layers to my being, to what I'm into and how I consume that kind of make me who I am today, but also contribute to why my childhood was so like unique. Cause even as a child, like I was different, you know, and I think everybody around me kind of took a notice to that. So that's why people fuck with me for the most part. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. Speaking, you know, you being in the shop around those times, who were your early influences around you that shaped who you are today?
My oldest brother, both of my brothers, inadvertently and intentionally, because I feel like a lot of what they consumed culturally, like just ended up being my hand-me-downs somewhat. You know what I'm saying? Like they was into Dipset and Squad Up and you know what I'm saying? So they listening to shit. So with the CDs they got, when it got old to them, it got new to me. You know what I'm saying? So I would say my older brothers, due to proximity. And then, you know, obviously once the internet becomes a tool to kind of understand the world that I can't see with my own eyes, my influences got way bigger. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and say that my dad and my uncles inspired me as a kid, because they did, of course. But I just looked at them as dad and uncle. I didn't look at them as gold teeth legends. You know what I'm saying? So like,
it's a perspective.
It's a perspective thing. Like in retrospect, I can see that now. But as a kid, Tracy McGrady, you feel me?
Yeah.
Pharrell, Ice Cream Skate Team. Shit like other shit.
You know something.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, we
and that's that. Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Because it's like that era as a kid growing up in Miami, we did not see that.
We didn't see that.
And then when we see it on MTV and all these or different platforms or the channels or whatever, seeing Tracy McGrady and all that, like it was just like, damn.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like once you get a taste of, like I said, like a world that you can't see with your own eyes, and you could kind of explore. Well, at the time it wasn't in our hands, but you could kind of explore. Your world go from here to here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And what you got access to kind of inadvertently shapes you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that shit started making me. You gotta understand, I'm not just playing NBA Live, I'm playing NBA Ballers. You feel me? So it's the sport that I like
That was
mixed
like,
in, infused with the culture
yeah,
that's really shaping the
right,
fibers of a nigga being. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So like everything, the culture inspired me. Like I can't say one person, but like I said, if I had to really quantify it to a person, I'd say my oldest brother, because
right.
them the niggas who's in the house, that's my closest that's the closest access I got to culture.
Mm-hmm.
Is I got two older brothers. These niggas is 5 years older than me and 10 years older than me. So like they wearing the FUBU with the cities, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And it's like, damn, I can't wait till that nigga done with that shit. That's gonna be my shirt.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so in every way, like I was inspired by things that I was in close proximity to, as well as shit that was just way beyond
Right,
what I had
right.
access to. So yeah, just the culture, bro, for real, for real.
Mm-hmm. Now that's interesting because some of the things like you mentioned, like the like Pharrell and everything like that, like BBC,
Mm-hmm.
ice cream, and all those different elements,
Mm-hmm.
or skating in general down here. It
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah, that
cool.
shit ain't, yeah, come on.
Now to see where it is
Yeah.
today is crazy.
I lived here physically, but I never lived here mentally, bro. Like
Yeah,
never.
yeah,
Miami, never really shaped my perspective of culture for real.
right.
This is just so where happened to be where I housed it at. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
I feel you.
Um, you being a kid,
Mm.
you talked about like those influences, but what were your first creative passions as you pursued growing up, and what did you truly wanted to explore?
Uh, well, first it starts with sports. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Playing ball first,
Mm-hmm.
hooping, playing football. Optimist, the optimist culture here is just so vast
Right.
that it's like, of course it started with sports, but then it really was music for real. Like
Mm-hmm.
I always loved the music I was hearing, the music that was playing around me. So I would say around the time that it was time for me to begin building my own music taste, that's when my passion for it grew. So that was the first thing that I wanted to experiment with, because um I love the music so much, and I was around the culture so much. Like I was saying, like as a kid, having access to the shit I was around at the shop and the artists I was around at the shop, the way that they lived, the way that it kind of was, just made me want to understand music more, just naturally. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So that was the first thing that I kind of built the love for and built the passion for and really wanted to experiment with personally. So that's like the first thing that I kind of dove into as a kid. You know what I'm saying? I started rapping and shit like really, I started rapping at 6.
Wow.
My dad was part owner of a studio called the Science Room
Mm.
down here, and I was 6, and they would stand me on a stool, and I literally just record. They'll cut the mic on. I could see them from the other side of the glass, and I just record. My name was Illy Philly. I swear to God, I
Mm-hmm.
could vouch for this. Like I have older gentlemen people who could
Word.
truly vouch for this shit. It was
Word.
a CD. I was 6 years old. They said Illy Philly, and it was like 4 songs of me just rapping about what I saw. It didn't really make the most sense, but
Mm-hmm.
nonetheless, like just being around it so much, that was like the first real thing that I
Mm-hmm.
grew a passion for and tried to experiment with. I think that was the question
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
that. Yeah.
It's crazy because you mentioned you being 6 and around that time. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that time in your life.
2000.
Yeah.
This is the year 2000. I'm born 94. So this 2000, this 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And
Things change around that time.
that's when the gears start turning. So
Y2K,
yeah,
literally.
culturally, that's when the gears started really turning. That's when hip hop took on an identity. Cause I like to look at hip hop, rap or hip hop, but mostly like the culture of hip hop. I like to look at it as a person. That motherfucker like 50 now, like 50
That's
years old.
crazy.
It's like a 50-year-old man or woman. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But at that time, it's in the 20s or whatever. So it's hip, a lot
Yeah.
more hip, just like
Yeah.
life, and,
Yeah.
and you would be in life. So culturally, man, yeah, around that time, it was so easy to dive into that world, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what I did. Um, then picked it back up seriously around like 15, and that's kind of where it went.
Yeah, and that leads me to my next question because around the time I met you, you
Mm-hmm.
was heavily in the music game and stuff like that, and doing music. Was music always a part of your household when you were growing up?
Yeah, absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Like
My,
what was like gravitated to you more? I know you mentioned the the flea market and
Yeah.
Eddie's, but as far as your home, like what elements that made you pick up and make you want to do music?
Um, my oldest brother, he
Yeah.
he did music.
Yeah.
So coming home from school, seeing him kind of being on his Macintosh 98, making beats on, Fruity Loops,
Yeah.
like the old Fruity Loops.
And that was like the what? It was like the home computer for
This is the
everybody.
home computer for everybody. So even when I go on there to play on Paint or play pinball,
Hmm.
I gotta scrunch through his audio tracks and
Hmm.
files, to get through it. So like naturally, just kind of being around somebody who was doing it, experimenting with it, like I just did what my brothers did, for real,
Hmm.
for real. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Literally everything. Like you absorb so much of what you see around you or what you hear around you in this sake, as far as
Right.
music, that you just naturally kind of just push back out a lot of that same stuff. So like in the house, you got my brother making music. My other brother, he wasn't really into doing music. He was into listening to music. You got him listening to music. You got mom playing the oldies, taking you to school, picking you
Hmm.
up to and fro. You know what I'm saying? Hot 105. Then, you know what I'm saying, you get the chance to be around dad. Then you go travel to your grandparents' house. My grandfather's vinyl collection is like
Crazy.
absolutely insane. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? So like as a kid, I'm walking in the house, this Barris Hammond playing. I ain't even Jamaican. Neither is this nigga. But
Hmm.
you feel me? Like it just existed in so many ways around me that like it, and then on my own time, shaping my own kind of taste for music, it kind of is just like, man, like it was inevitable.
Right.
I was gonna be involved with the music in some
Regardless.
way.
Yeah.
Um,
It give you more. It give you soul. A lot of people, because I'm
Absolutely.
into music as well,
Yeah.
but a lot of people tell me, "Boy, you got soul." You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But that gives
Yeah.
you perspective on like your taste levels in music because you got different
Facts.
perspectives. You know.
Facts.
So,
Facts. Facts. Yeah.
so how did that exposure of music impact your journey as a musician over time?
Um, it gave me an element of things to speak on that others around me weren't qualified to speak on musically.
Hmm.
My music, when I was doing it, it didn't sound like the culture that was around me. You know what I'm saying? So it served me well because people could tell that I was different personally through my music,
Right.
like, and all the stuff that I absorbed, all the places that I had been and spaces that I had kind of been around, obviously made my music as unique as me. And
Right.
so it was just it was a way for people to kind of understand me, the human, uh, because I really, the element of music that I loved the most when I was experimenting with music was the lyricism, the words. Because for me, I shaped a certain kind of relationship with words growing up that wasn't so positive. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
In my upbringing. So really, I wanted to use words for good. I wanted
Hmm.
to use words and speak life into things, into people, and I think the first way that most people, black boys, experiment with something like that is musically, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like they ain't gonna start his life doing poetry,
Yeah. Yeah.
growing up in the time frame we grew up in, like that's just your version of that's like back in the day being a Shakespeare,
Hmm.
whatever the word
Yeah.
is for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just the modern version of wanting to do something with words and being born in the time frame that I was born in. So I felt like, yeah, it was just my natural gravitation towards how people's words made me feel.
Hmm.
I wanted to do that in my way. I wanted to show a motherfucker who I was through the music as a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, and off that alone, like it was captivating. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because really, you know, you made a good point with like that's really our. We don't think about poetry, but rap and hip hop is somewhat a form of
Yeah,
poetry.
that's our version. That's our
Yeah,
version.
and the fact that you got people all around the hood that just get better with words and the wordplay, and then they end up taking it to the next level. It's crazy. What stage in your life when did you decide that you wanted to start making music?
Uh,
Besides, like 6 years old, or when you was.
I would say, okay, when they introduced FCAT rights, right, and we would do the writing
Yeah.
prompts, because I don't think that was in there at first.
No, it
I took
wasn't.
the FCAT first in the third grade. I don't think it was in there in the third grade. I think it
No.
started like when I was maybe in the fifth. I don't remember
You 2
exactly.
years older than me, so it probably. Damn.
Yeah, I don't remember
I don't
exactly.
want. I don't
Yeah,
want to say.
but when
Yeah.
when I started doing the FCAT rights and when I got older, scholastically, and I was getting such good grades on my English work, my language arts work, my writing prompts. I got a 5.5 on the FCAT Rice, and they really was like, yo, like you good at putting stories together.
Right.
So I just kind of, I felt like that was just the natural evolution of wanting to do something with a certain aspect of life that motherfuckers told me I was good at. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the first thing that I could really remember, people saying, yo, you're good at this. So I was like, all right, shit, how do I do this in a way that fits me? And I feel like music was like the first real way to kind of make that make sense and kind of do that. So really, that's what got me into it, mixed with just my natural. I thought everybody just consumed music how I did. I didn't think my sense of the music that I liked in the way that I liked it was special. Then I grew up and realized motherfuckers really just listen to what they got, like what they in the proximity of. And that's crazy because it's a huge world with a whole bunch of gems in it. So I just thought everybody was digging up shit like me, but it showed that they wasn't, through how different my music, I guess, kind of sounded and how differently it resonated with the people around me. So, yeah.
So what you would say that
I would say I was like 14, 15.
Okay.
Yeah, I was I went to John F. Kennedy Middle School in NMB. Shout out to Eastside, and I was rapping. Battle rapping niggas, you know, it really was battle rap. Actually, I was battle rapping in the 7th grade, 8th grade, and then we get to 9th grade, a very pivotal turn for things because I'm in the 9th grade and we all got our misconceptions about high school. The only in my head, I'm thinking high school, they gonna be stuffing a nigga in the locker. You know what I'm saying? They gonna be throwing niggas in the trash. So really, I was already kind of just head on a swivel. You know what I'm saying? But
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's true. Nobody
really you don't really think, you don't really know what to think, right? So I wasn't really looking for a way to fit in. Really, one day, the first week of 9th grade, I was just rapping with my friends. I was just literally spitting. Seniors come by, they like, damn, like, you can rap? All right, well, come battle this nigga. So I'm a 9th grader. They got me battling 12th grade. This is documented stuff. Like, I'm not gonna give y'all the links, but this is stuff you can find on YouTube type shit, like me battling in 9th grade, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, so they got me battling seniors and stuff like that, and like, this is really where I saw it. All right, I'm different. I'm different.
And because when you battling, you gotta think of it.
Yeah, even you bring it written, you bring freestyle, like, still it's music, but it's personality with it. Like, you still gotta provide a delivery and a presence that gotta that differentiates you from your opponent in this per se. So like,
it's a science to it.
It's a science to it, bro. It really started from a competitive aspect, and I feel like that's something that followed me into the music because I didn't make good songs, but all of my songs were from a competitive point of view. I wanted to show you that I was the best nigga rapping that you heard. I didn't care about making a bop. I didn't know how to make a bop, and in turn, it's down there where I stopped because I couldn't make no fucking good songs. Really, everything was just so damn. This nigga can rap. I want you to listen to my music and feel like, damn, this nigga can rap.
But what shifted, like, from the battle? I'm like, damn, okay.
Shit, battle rappers ain't got no, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, cause
I mean, like, we know who battle rappers is, but you know what I'm saying? You go to the mall, you trying to get synced.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to step into who I am, and like, that can't be encapsulated by a nigga who just battle. Like, I just wanted to, I ain't say I wanted to be the man, but you know what I'm saying? I kind of was the man, and it was bigger than just being competitive. And then you want to fit in. You want to kind of just do what makes sense. I mean, what I'm going to tell motherfuckers, I'm a battle rapper. I just want to like kind of just, I was a teenager, bro, just doing shit. Like I said,
and
just doing
just shit. Like how you said earlier, it's just you trying shit.
Yeah. Experimenting, bro. Pressing buttons, seeing what they do. Especially as a kid when it's no kickback to whatever button you press. Now we adults, you know what I'm saying? You invest in money and time and stuff, but as a kid, you can press a button. You can say, I want to be a soccer player today. Tomorrow you can want to be an engineer.
Right.
You know, next day you want to be a scientist. Like, it's no crime in wanting to experiment as a kid. And that's an element that I feel like I guess I always took with me.
What kind of shifted? As far as what I mean by that is like shifted from the battle rap to like, okay, damn, I want to take this more. I'm take this music shit seriously.
Everybody just telling me like I'm good, and then I started rapping with my friends. Then we started a group, like literally the traditional teenage rapper story. You know, rapping with your friends. Y'all started in the group break up. Now you just rapping. Now you decide if you want to do it solo, how you want to take it. But shit was kind of moving for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had got a manager, You know what I'm saying? I
Word.
started opening up for people. I opened up for Currency, Meek Mill,
Word.
Action Bronson, Slaughterhouse. I was performing at all the dunk exchanges
Ooh,
and
that's
all of this.
we gonna get to
Yeah.
that. We gonna get to that.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
yeah, it
that's
took on a
crazy.
when it took on a life of its own, I kind of had to just, shift,
Hmm.
so
Hmm. So you mentioned the DXC.
yeah.
It's crazy because
Yeah.
Demi, when I did her interview, she
Okay.
mentioned it, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Like I haven't been to
Yeah.
DXC in
Yeah.
years. I don't
Yeah.
even know they still doing
No,
it
I don't think they. I
because
think it's just
they
Sneaker
got
Con and
Sneaker Con, yeah,
Complex Con.
all that.
Yeah.
But so let's talk about the transition from music to the fashion world.
Okay.
How did you? How did your interest in fashion first develop? You mentioned
Um.
Nike Talk, and you mentioned you know, different elements,
Yeah.
but talk about
I feel
that.
like when I say culture, all of these things kind of fall within that
Hmm.
category.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I felt like that was I don't want to say that was the next natural progression. To
Hmm.
be quite honest with you, my right hand man, Bari, my nigga
Hmm.
Wavy,
Shout out to him.
yeah, shout out to Wave, man. Like, we've been locked in since way back. And that's his passion. And
Hmm.
that was our passion together, but like that was music ended up being my number one, fashion ended up being his number one. But we
Hmm.
was always hand in hand. So when he started doing GBC, I kind of like, supported him so much, supported that like I was doing my music thing, but people knew me from the music stuff. So
Hmm.
obviously I'm gonna put on some shit that my man's is making, that my
Hmm.
man's is sitting there, like cooking up. So like I don't really got a passion for fashion.
Hmm.
I'm not a fashionable guy. I just so happen to be fashionable because of how I've
Lifestyle.
consumed culture, if that
Hmm.
makes sense. But like, I don't consider myself like a fashion person, bro. For real, for
Hmm.
real. Like,
Hmm.
motherfuckers be way fly than me. But
Nah, but I would
yeah,
say
but
you
like
fly though. You fly.
in my way, in a
Yeah.
way that makes sense to what I actually like. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But I grew a liking towards it because when you in the music industry, I guess you got to separate yourself by what you got on, kind of how you present yourself. It's all like falls within the
It's
category of being
fine.
an artist. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So, with carving out my sense of individuality with music, I was doing that with fashion, and then I got my right hand man, like I said, doing his own brand. So I'm rocking his stuff, and then eventually, like, I just said, fuck it. Anytime I'm on stage, anytime I'm being outside as the rapper persona of me, I'm finna put on for your shit. And then
Hmm.
it just so happened with, evolved into me working with the brand,
Word.
basically.
Word. Was there a specific moment that sparked that change? Like, let's say, because I remember when Jeep, like all y'all boys, it's like it was when y'all came in the room,
Yeah,
it was just
yeah. I mean, like I said, like with me doing music and my best friend doing fashion, it
intertwined.
kind of just literally like it was never like no, hey, let's sit down and form a contract. That shit was just like
We
gang.
just going,
you
yeah,
know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying? And
yeah.
then when they started doing the pop-ups, like I'm so closely affiliated with the brand that I'm going in the back, pulling out sizes for people. I'm
Hmm.
helping them do shit. And then it just kind of just made sense for me to kind of work with them in a somewhat official capacity.
Right.
So like it literally just evolved within itself. It never was a moment that is like, I'm a fashion nigga now. Like that never happened,
Right.
bro. Like I never really could. I gained my role in the fashion ecosystem by being who I was in the music ecosystem
Yeah.
locally.
Yeah.
So like it was just
It all intertwined. Yeah.
basically, yeah,
So what was that experience like? With you guys at
fun.
GPC, like what? Give me some experiences.
It
Was
was
it
a
like?
it was a fun era because for me, I came from doing music, so it kind of was just like everybody kind of tells you, hey, I like your stuff, I like the music, whatever. Then with fashion, it kind of was just like, all right, a person could show you that they like it by purchasing a product,
Hmm.
wearing a product in a way that makes sense to them, and making it a part of their world, and you could see that. So
Right.
it was like cool to see the support form take on another form. That's what I would say was the most fun about it. Getting to have like actual interactive experiences where the people can show you how much they fuck with you.
Right.
Come into your pop up, come into your
Right.
event. You do an after party for the pop up, motherfuckers in there having fun. Like it was just a fun time. I
Hmm.
was a lot younger, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So like it was just, hey, anything that keep a nigga doing some legal shit
Hmm.
out the street, out the way.
Word.
Really just being able to express creativity harmlessly and just have fun with it, I was cool. I was cool with just another outlet for real. I never really looked at it like what makes this. The sense of camaraderie amongst the people within it, and the sense of community you build with the people who support your brand, who support your ecosystem. So it was fun. That's what I remember. Fun, young, and just trying to be creative, you know?
Yeah, because every time I used to see y'all at events or whatever the case may be, I loved how, and especially being from the crib, how you guys was like together. It seemed like a definitely like a brotherhood type of perspective from my POV, and I loved it. And then the clothes itself, every time I seen it, it was quality.
Yeah, for the time it was dope.
I really went all in with that.
Yeah, for the time it was fun, and I mean, I feel like it embodied the fun and looseness of like living in Miami. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of it was just sporty. You know what I'm saying? Just little stuff you could throw on. You could go out with it. You could go to Publix. You know what I'm saying? However you want to play it. Like yeah, it was fun time for sure.
So talking about more of your style, as far as because you mentioned you don't consider yourself a fashion dude.
Not whatsoever.
Yeah. But how has your personal style changed from when you first got into fashion to now? Well, not fashion, but just your everyday perspective of dressing up.
You would think it would make me more mature fashion-wise, but hell no. Nah. It just honestly, it taught me to just be looser. Whatever the hell you want to wear. Have fun with it. Let people kind of get a sense of you through what you got on. You know what I'm saying? So whether I come in with some colorful shit or some muted shit, you know, it not only reflects my mood, but kind of just reflects how I look at life. Like I don't take myself too serious. I don't take life too serious. So
that's
like
what it is.
I don't dress formally, but I also ain't got on no $1,000 pieces or no shit like that. No shade to nobody who do, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like
you.
That same middle ground that I feel like I exist in existentially. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I embody that through what I be having on. So very free. I guess what being in fashion for a little bit kind of taught me was like, ain't no rules to this shit. Nothing matters. And then a motherfucker ain't really gonna remember what you had on. Unless you really wore it in a way that was memorable, you know what I'm saying? And it's like
that's a good perspective too.
Yeah. Shit don't really matter.
But it's so crazy because I like how you brought up is just like I just do it for me.
Yeah.
Versus
for
just
sure.
because one thing I noticed about you, like like I look at the shoes. I know it's like you're big into shoes, and we had conversations. And
when it comes to shoes, I ain't gonna lie. I care. Yeah,
like what gravitated? You talked about Nike Talk again in the DXC. What gravitated you towards the shoes?
Sports.
The shoe culture against sports.
Sports.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
It always goes back to sports.
That's what it all boils down to, bro. Life is a game.
Yeah.
All this shit is a game, champ. Yeah. So. Sports, whether that be Jordan or whatever cultural icon we was praising at the time, athletically, being able to wear a piece of that on my feet. And then now kind of rap culture now getting its own kind of shoes and shit. Yeah. So now the same kind of thing, I could show my allegiance through my feet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wear Jordans. I'm 29. I'm gonna always wear Jordans, cause nigga, that's Jordan.
Yeah. Like, and then every time Jordan come out, I gotta get.
What are we really talking about? Right. Like when niggas feel like they grow past the need of Jordans, niggas start scaring me, bro. Because fool, if you was there for Jordan, bro, it's Jordan, bro. Yeah. Like not to say you got to wear J's every day or that I wear J's every day, but nonetheless, kind of just I want to show what he meant to me culturally, or what athletic culture, what music culture means to me culturally. That's why all my kicks be basketball shoes or collab with an artist that I fuck with. Right. Like I'm really trying to show my allegiance through my shoes. Right. And also too, like I don't really do a lot of crazy dressing. So I feel like with the shoes, I let the shoes be busy so my clothes could just chill. You know what I'm saying? I already wear a white wrap with some whatever shorts, but my shoes finna, you know what I'm saying? We finna have a dialogue.
Miami nigga for
you know sure.
What I'm saying? You're a Miami nigga for sure. Yeah. Hey, it's crazy because this guy, he told me this years ago. He was like, a Miami person and a person from another city could wear the same thing.
Oh yeah.
But one thing about Miami is we stand out.
Yeah, nah, facts. Yeah. That's
so, that's crazy. Yeah. But okay, let's talk about another key transition in your life. You stepping into making and designing grills.
Mm-hmm.
Why that particular industry? For the people I know, but for the
Yeah.
people that I don't know.
To be quite frank with you, I ran from it for a long time. I ran from it my whole life, for real, for
Wow.
real. I never really looked at it as something that I wanted to do. I ain't even gonna cap you down and act like, oh
Word.
yeah, man, since a kid. Hell no.
Word.
That was what my daddy did. I wanted to be as good at something as my father was at this shit. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like the blood, sweat, and tears that he put into this industry, I wanted to put that into my own respective career field and kind of excel in the way that he did. So I didn't really want to do it until you kind of grow up and music is a bill. Music don't pay the bills.
Yeah.
Music is a bill.
It
You know what I'm
definitely
saying?
is. It definitely.
Fashion ain't paying no motherfucking bills. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It's a bill.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you grow past the need of needing creative stimulation, and now you kind of just need some sense of structure in your life. And I never was a person who could just sit there and do a job, bro. Like I've
Yeah.
had jobs, but all of my jobs have been so unconventional
Mm-hmm.
and so like free flowing that literally they've never felt like jobs. I can't
Right.
sit and kind of tuck my shirt in and punch a clock. Like that just never really been me.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I kind of had to muscle it, like I never really succumbed to and then no shade to nobody who has.
No,
I
for
mean,
sure.
obviously we needed this all the ecosystem, but like I wanted to. This was my last try at something before I went corporate.
Mm-hmm.
For real, like I just was like, man, fuck it, you know what? I'm gonna try. And then plus two, I got two older brothers, but none of them ever picked it up. And I was growing older, and I'm growing more of a sense of kind of understanding of my legacy. So it kind of was like, man, if I don't keep this shit going, who gonna really continue to do it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As far as under this wing of my dad and his three sons, like none of them really chose to do it, and I didn't want to see it die with him. You know, my uncle and my dad, they both in their 60s, so they like on the way out as far as in this industry. So it's like I kind of felt the need to somewhat keep that shit pushing. And then once I joined on, like I came in like this, but as soon as I came in, it all just bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like a ultimate sense of purpose for me being here. Like
Right.
immediately. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Everything just made sense. It was like that missing puzzle piece that I didn't even know that I was missing. So like, yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. Because I mean, some people, you know, when they see it for so long time, oh yeah, it's just there. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But then the fact that, especially us as black people, when we want to see something more generational, and I feel like that's what you, from outside
Yeah.
looking in, are
Yeah.
doing, and that's dope.
Nah, hell yeah, their legacy means so much to me.
Mm-hmm.
And as I got older, because I started doing this when I was like 25, 26.
Right.
So like as I got older, like that's that age I'm stepping into my manhood, you know what I'm saying? Understanding my purpose out here as a man. So like it's no coincidence that that came into my life at that time. You did?
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a blessing, because you know what I mean, because how I look at you too is like when I see you, I automatically think of this as well
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
like, and then it's crazy because I think over time since I've known you, I didn't know. I knew, I would hear like, oh, his father,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
who it
yeah.
is. But I didn't know it was into this magnitude till
Yeah.
a later time. I'm like, oh wow, I used to see
Yeah.
them boys like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
over there and stuff like that.
It's
So
been funny. It's been funny
mm-hmm.
to see kind of everybody like put the pieces together about me,
Mm-hmm.
because I never wanted to introduce myself as, yeah, I'm this person, my dad is this person, whatever. Like I never wanted that to be my end to
Mm-hmm.
the culture, you know. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of just wanted to exist as who I was.
Right.
But this just shit just so happened to be my backstory.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happened to be legendary.
Mm-hmm.
But then I be trying to explain to folks, I'm like, nigga, that's why I am how I am.
Right.
But yeah, go continue with your question, my bad.
You're good. So we know that your family is known for being into, making goals for 30 or X amount of years.
Indeed, 40 plus.
Oh wow, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. What was it like? We talked about growing up and being in the shop, but I want you to talk about that a little bit more. What was it like growing up around such a legendary family business, and how did it influence your decision to enter the industry?
Well, first of all, I was born because of gold teeth. My mom met my dad at the gold teeth shop, getting a gold tooth from my uncle in Queens at the Coliseum. My mom went with her friends one day to get a disco Rick, you know what I'm saying? That's what I call it, one go-to. And my uncle introduced her to my dad. Then they had kids and shit. And did what grown folks do. So like, I'm here ultimately because of this industry. I didn't know all of those parts of my story until I dove in. But like, you gotta understand, man, this shit was everything for me, bro. Like, growing up in the shop, that was my connection to my father. You know what I'm saying? My parents got divorced pretty young, at a young age for me. So like, when it was time to go see my dad, I had to go see him at work. So I'm always seeing him entrenched in it so much. Then in the summer, I'm going to Atlanta. Like I said, I'm at Eddie's Gold Team. I'm crawling around the floor. I'm dancing. I'm a kid, but I'm understanding what's going on around me to the point where it's like I understand the importance of what my people do and the role they play culturally. I ain't understand it fully, but I understood it enough to where now as an adult getting to really do it, like, it means everything. You know, I feel like I'm paying it forward to my family, to the culture in itself by keeping our branch of things going. I mean, obviously, Grillz done took on a life of his own. But, you know, my people kick the dough down, and that matters. And somebody got to keep that story alive when they can't. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful to the print, but nonetheless, like, I'm in the flesh with it, keeping that shit going. And that shit means everything to me, bro, because it's like, it was an example of what it looked like to work hard and kind of like get something from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody growing up, they're going to tell you, work hard, man, just follow your dreams. We hear that shit on TV, we read it in the books. But if we don't really see nobody around us do that exact thing, that shit just sound like a myth, just like the boogeyman do. You know what I'm saying? So to really see an embodiment in my face of what it looked like to come from another country. My people's from Suriname, a very small country in South America that people don't know about. My dad's side of the family from Suriname. My mom's side of the family from Guyana. They border each other in South America. So they both came here, met in New York through gold teeth. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit matters, bro. Like, somebody gotta keep the whole
thing,
the whole
going.
shit churning. You know what I'm saying? Like, my family exists, but like, man, you know how many untold stories there is of really black people truly inventing something, black people being the pioneers of something, and the story kind of just gets swept under the rug by the charlatans and the people who play like they the purveyors of that true culture. I can't let that go down like that. If I got some say so about it. You know what I'm saying? I might not be as legendary as them. I want to be them in my own way, but nonetheless, like, I got to pay it forward. I got to. Yeah. So
how did your father feel about you joining the business? Like, what was his thoughts?
He's happy. I think he take pride in the fact that, you know, I chose to follow up the family legacy and do it. I mean, he wanted me to do it a little younger, but I mean, I had to come around truly. So like, I'm happy that I came around. I know he's happy that I came around. I know that he can feel like all of his hard work over them years is not gonna go to waste because like somebody gonna keep it going after him. So I'm sure that matters to him. You would have to ask him.
Okay.
But I mean, I know he proud. You know, I ain't gonna act like that. I know that nigga proud. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thankful for him to, you know, of just like being accepting of me. You know what I'm saying? Because like, we really carving out a business relationship. You know, as well as a father-son relationship through this. So you know, it's cool, and I'm sure he's happy that I'm keeping it going, and I'm happy to be keeping it going. You know, so the things that he does say, or even the things that he don't say, like, nonetheless, like, better be happy. Shit.
So I want to tap into like, okay, the beginning process, you going into this industry. What was your process like learning how to create grillz for the first time?
Well, really, it was just a matter of getting comfortable first. Like, I didn't just jump in and just start making shit. Like, at first, like, you got to kind of earn your keep somewhat. So, you know, I'm doing the basic stuff, taking impressions, you know, like, kind of just the basics. And then when I started feeling comfortable enough in my role, I felt open to, you know, asking questions, starting to understand what was going on around me. And the first thing, you know, kind of learning how to wax and kind of just the design process that I realized that is the whole key to this shit. You know, I would say when I first got in, I was kind of too eager for the knowledge. I had to realize like I couldn't earn 40 years of my dad's knowledge in 1 week or in 1 day. So I had to sit down a little bit, you know what I'm saying, and bull out. And once I did that, once I kind of just like really realize like, yo, I'm not in a rush. It's not a race. Like
Right.
just like how he got his 40-year story. I'm gonna have my however many year story. So just take my time, really plant my feet. So once I really did that, I would say it kind of got easy. At first, I just felt the pressure to be very good, very quick. Cause my dad, like the Jordan of this shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, imagine learning from Jordan. It's a lot of pressure on Bronny and Marcus Jordan.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on them niggas. And I somewhat feel like that. You know what I'm saying? Cause like, as far as the technical aspect, I feel like my pops is the best in the world. Just when it comes to permanent 22 karat Florida style individual gold teeth, I don't feel like there is a human being that can make them better than my father.
Right.
You know, so with knowing that, it's like, this is what I'm learning from. So it's even if it ain't pressure, it's pressure, bro. You know, but once you kind of learn how to transform that energy that feel like pressure into passion or into something else that could be like a positive driving force, it made it a bit easier for me. So like now I feel more comfortable experimenting with designs. You know what I'm saying? My first thing was I ain't finna fuck nobody mouth up. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't give nobody something that I wouldn't give to myself. And I feel like that's why I went so crazy on my own teeth, because it's like I wanted to show the world what I could do. And what better way to do that than my smile? You know what I'm saying? So
Right. No, that's dope. So let's talk about like the challenges. What challenges you face getting into the industry, and how did you overcome it?
What I just said.
Yeah.
Having Jordan be your mentor.
Yeah.
It's tough, man, because like your reference point is that. Your reference point is greatness, which in most industries is obviously great. And this one is great too, but like your reference point is greatness. So when you're not meeting that benchmark, you're not feeling sufficient. You're not feeling like you'll be as effective as successful. So it was a lot of challenges where really feeling like, all right, nigga ain't good yet. Why keep going? You know, so I had to kind of just keep pushing through this was my first time not really being good at something naturally. You know what I'm saying? I've been good at everything that I kind of ever experimented with. That's the thing too. So I'm not used to being in an industry where I'm a freshman. I come into everything. I'm the big blood. You know what I'm saying? So like to really come in this and be a tadpole, it was a challenge for my ego more so. But once I kind of put that in check and also kind of got better, and also just everything take reps, bro. Repetition. You know what I'm saying? At that time, like I'm 4 years in, I still feel like a baby. I still feel like I just started. I still feel like I didn't earn no kudos or no pats on the back. Like, yeah, I'm getting better with it. I'm a little tight with the waxing and shit like that, but I still got so much growing to truly do in this field. I don't even feel qualified to answer these questions. Like I'm still a small fry somewhat. You know what I'm saying? I definitely have validated my experience because I'm good.
Right.
I'm the baby goat, but nonetheless I'm the baby goat. So like some challenges I faced were, like I said, they mostly egotistically, and then other than that, just it's big shoes to fill, you know, per se. And I don't feel pressure. I'm honored to have shoes to fill, number one, let alone the motherfuckers be some Balenci's. But like, nonetheless, that great sense of responsibility to keep this shit going, man, like, this should be driving me to tears sometimes. This shit really be like, this is everything for me. So I don't feel like I got the room to come up short. I don't feel like I got the room to experiment, do this shit for a couple years and say, like I did everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like everything else was a healthy experiment, but I don't got that whole, all right, I'm finna go do something else. Like, it's funny. I don't even want motherfuckers in my business, but I just turned down a sales consultant job with a Fortune 500 company to keep doing this shit.
Wow.
This shit expensive to live in Miami, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, damn, I could go corporate and make sure I'm straight enough to live in Miami, or I could keep the passion shit going. Man, this shit my life, man. Like, I couldn't say yes to nothing else. I can't say yes to nothing else, at least for the next foreseeable large chunk of years of my life. So like knowing that I'm locked in, like there's a lot of structure that lies in knowing that I have my career kind of set out for me. I feel good knowing that I know what I'm gonna be doing for the majority of my life. That's something that niggas spend their whole life trying to figure out what they gonna be doing. So to get something passed down to me that also aligns with me, aligns with how much I enjoy the culture, it is the culture. So like a lot of that is just, man, it's so much that it's really just feel like it's a blessing, but it's like, man, it's like a overflow of blessings. Like, wow, what to do with all of this love
Yeah.
that God has gave me in the form of this career.
Right.
Yeah.
Nah, that's the interesting
Shit get
perspective.
real. This
Yeah.
shit just ain't some shiny tea, brother.
Yeah. This is
This shit crazy. I'm
yeah.
trying to tell you, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah, you just
Damn,
slow
fucked
me
your
right
head up one time. My
there.
bad. My
Nah.
shit too. I got to hydrate.
No, you good. I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah, do you?
Do you remember um your first, well, I would say, I don't want to say your first grill, but the first grill that you was amazed by? Like, damn, I really did that.
Oh, that
Yeah.
I had a hand in.
That you was proud of for yourself.
Hmm. This one, my shit. Cause I
Word.
really sat there and did a design that nobody asked for. See, the thing is about this industry, I'm kind of at the mercy of other people's creativity in the sense of whatever you come in here and want me to design is essentially what I got to do. You know, yeah, I could give some creative feedback and kind of give suggestions or kind of walk you
Right.
through it. But for the most part, like I'm at the mercy of others' designs. And a lot of people don't know what's possible if I don't show them.
Right.
So I feel like what better way to kind of showcase what's possible than do something for myself. And in that, like, um, I did like a floating hands piece, like some hands holding my birthstone, and then on the bottom of it, I got my dad's birthstone and my mom's birthstone, and I made that. Like that was the first set that I really sat there and waxed and made a original design that I felt like, nah, let me scrap that, let me do it over. Let me scrap that, let me do it over. You know, like that was the first one I saw, and I was like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing for the rest of my life. Like that was it. Like even doing other people's shit at first was cool, you know, helping out, putting gemstones and stuff like that. That's really been my calling card, has been like the gemstones and the little, you know, showing creativity, but doing something with some actual sentimental value to me. Sentimental value, creative value, and kind of like a showcase of my talents all in one. And I get to wear it in my mouth permanently. And it's kind of like a billboard slash passion project slash all that, like I say that, yeah. I hate to be so conceited, but yeah, that shit.
Nah, man, you just
Yeah,
passionate. I
yeah,
like that because it's like you passionate what you
yeah,
do. You
yeah,
know what we do today is
yeah.
because we have a passion. You
Right,
know.
indeed.
So I want to talk about the book, Mouthful of
Yes,
Golds.
sir.
How did that come about? What made you and your father, get involved into making a book about y'all history?
Ironically enough, man, it wasn't us that wrote the book, that came up with the book.
Mm-hmm.
It was somebody, shout out to my man Lyle, out in the UK, in England. He was inspired by Goldie out there.
Oh,
And he loved kind of, man, Goldie a legend out
legend,
there.
legend,
Out there in the
legend.
UK, you know what I'm saying? So he grew up with the influences of that in his face and kind of just tracked down his story and learned how Goldie came down here and met my dad and was best friends with my father. And he fell in love with the grill culture so much that he really tracked down the roots of it, which so happened to be my family.
Right.
And so for somebody else across the whole fucking country, I mean, across the world, to love something that's my upbringing so much to where they go write a book about it, like that shit was crazy. But it just so happened to be just a book about my uncle, my grandfather, my dad, the echo ripple effect of them creating grills. And like shout out to Lyle, man. Shout out to Monomania for really capturing the true story of who truly invented pull out gold teeth and the levels that they took it to, man. Because to most people, this shit is a coffee table book with some cool pictures in it. But yo, this is the story of my life. Like this is my whole lineage of my life in a book that people can buy and see.
Right.
It's not just like oh yeah, we came out with a little brochure at a pop-up, like nigga, like we did a book signing for this shit at Dover Street Market in New York.
It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
like
big.
the foreword is by ASAP Ferg, you know, like literally, like this is my life, bro. Like literally, like this my uncle.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like this my family, bro. This my grandfather. This my dad. This my uncle. That's my uncle. That's my uncle. Like this shit is a book.
So when you look at it all the time, like when you just see it,
Hell
like
yeah.
how does that, like I can only imagine what you
Bruh,
think.
everything. You got to think about it like this. It's shit in this book that I ain't even know. You know what I'm saying? About my own upbringing. Like, and then two, just knowing that I don't have to explain it or just make it make sense to people. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of me is in here. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like to really truly understand me, to really truly understand like my unique upbringing and kind of what made me me, but also what makes my story so unique and my people's story so legendary is, just the fact that it's documented.
Mhm.
Like documentation matters. There's pictures in this book that's museum worthy. You know what I'm saying? There's pictures in this book I never saw before, but most importantly, just like, man, to open a book and to see your forefathers, like that shit deep, bro.
Mhm.
Like it's just a book to others, like I said, but man, it's heavy for me,
Mhm.
So yeah.
That's yeah, because what like how do people like when they got the book or whatever, what was
Mm-hmm.
that turnout at Dover
Crazy.
Street Market or even
Craziness.
just in general when people come
Craziness.
up
That
to
was
you?
one of the best days of my life. I know that was one of the best days of my dad's life,
Did you have like you
best
was
days of my
nervous a little
uncle's
bit?
life. Simply to see them get their flowers was beautiful, man. You know what I'm saying? Like they really came here from Suriname,
Mhm.
made this shit happen. Never really got that award ceremony. That's the closest niggas gonna really get to getting that trophy for that lifetime achievement. You know what I'm saying? So like for them to truly get their just due, in the sense of a book, in the sense of a turnout of thousands of people, or probably hundreds, but in the turnout of a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, showing mad love,
Mhm.
copping the book, loving the story, being enamored by the visuals, the pictures, the people. Like it was very, as a person in this industry now, like imagine that, imagine seeing that, imagine seeing your peoples get their lifetime achievement trophy, and now you next up, like it's on you now. Like that
Right.
shit was just, that's all I can say. I can barely really put it into words. It was legendary experiences that I'm truly blessed to get the chance for this to be my life, bro. Like I don't take this shit for granted.
Yeah, because that when I looked at that book, it was just like,
Yeah,
damn. I was just like, I was like, damn. I didn't know it was tied into Eddie's, and then
yeah,
it started in New York like
yeah,
that. Me from the
yeah,
outside looking in, I'm just like, wow. I'm
yeah,
still going through
yeah,
the
boy.
book to this day because it's like,
Craziness, man. Y'all go get that, man.
yeah,
Mouthful of Gold is available now. Just
yeah.
type it in. Just
Tap
Google
in.
it. I ain't just Google it. You
It's
know what I'm saying?
everywhere.
Yeah. Shit get deep.
Okay, so for the people that haven't got the chance to look at the book
Hmm.
overall, how does the book capture the evolution of grills over the years? And are there any key turning points or trends your father or family discusses in the book that shaped the industry? I know that was two.
Yeah.
It's a two-part
No,
question.
that's a pretty good question. I feel like for people who don't have the book, it's a true depiction of the true story of how Pull-Out Grills was introduced to the culture. I feel like what's touched on in this book that truly will matter to a person who doesn't really care about grills is just like I said, the story of entrepreneurship on how these brothers came from another country and really made this shit happen for themselves, doing something that nobody did. And like any other thing from a black creator, it get kind of yanked out of their hands into the hands of the masses.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Both positively and negatively. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously there is so much power in creating a lane for other people to make money. So it's not all just, vulture like, but nonetheless, it's the true story of the ups and the downs of being a creator of something and not really getting your credit for it. Um, so it's the story of black entrepreneurship. It's the story of creativity and the evolving nature of something creative, but that feels like it truly belongs to the culture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Grills is really something that really feel like it's by us, for us, and not just black, but just amongst the culture,
Yeah.
hip hop culture. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it come from that time, around the time when hip hop was created, when hip hop was a baby, into now. And just like the genre, the culture has changed, the grills culture has changed. Now motherfuckers making grills on the computer.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Oh, I
saying?
didn't know that.
Yeah, the 3D printing, just as
Oh
far as
yeah,
jewelry, it's
yeah.
evolved in so many different ways. So I feel like it's what better time than now to make people understand really where this shit is rooted in, because grills is very popular out of the country. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Now, like the UK, people really, like
Tapped in.
it's took on a life of its own so much. So I feel like it's imperative that we know the real root of it, and that just so happens to be my family, my family story. So it's a lot of gems in this book. Is you got celebrities in here talking about, you know, their experiences with my family, them coming to get grills back in the 80s, all the legendary drug dealers and dope
Mm-hmm.
boys, but also the upcoming people that we know today. It's pictures of my uncle in here with Jay-Z and shit like that. Really, like everything that the culture was about, like back in those times, in the late 80s, early 90s, early 2000s, when my peoples migrated to Atlanta. That's really, you know, the South takes credit for a lot of the stuff as far as grills. Don't get me wrong. With permanent grills, that's definitely something that the South kind of engineered early 1900s, early mid 19 whatever, however. But as far as pull out grills, niggas, you wasn't able to pull it out. When my dad bought that shit down here, they thought it was fake. They thought the pullouts was fake
Wow.
because they were just so used to perms. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the book does do a good job of differentiating the grills from perms and the true story. We do give credit to the originators of, you know, gold teeth. It comes from Romans and shit. I don't know. I don't really truly know who to give credit for.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I
Yeah.
ain't gonna cap you down. But I know that my peoples ain't invented, but they damn sure invented pullouts and they invented how grills work. You know what I'm saying? So
Damn, you just gave me some game on history right there.
yeah,
That I didn't
indeed,
know that. I didn't know
indeed.
that.
Hmm.
Um, I want to talk more about the book. What were some stories, if you were able to talk about it? What were some of the stories out of the book that you didn't know until you read the book?
Some of the stories I didn't know.
Whether it's like family or
It's some shit I didn't know in there, but most importantly, it's a lot of pictures I never seen before.
mm-hmm.
I feel like that's, to me, that's what resonated
Key.
with me more. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, look at my dad. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not just pictures of a person. Like, these is just like how you have pictures in your house. Like, it's pictures I ain't even got at the house. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Of my family. That picture I just showed y'all, like, that was my first, when I opened this book, that was my first time seeing that picture. So, like, imagine my family pictures being your coffee table reads.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was the part. The visuals I had never seen, the grills I had never seen, the levels that I saw this shit could be taken to by hand back then. Like seeing some of the grills that my uncle made, like I only had access to what I saw. You know, there weren't internet publishings about my forefathers' work prior to this book. You know, like yes, it all existed, but Lyle really did the handwork of gathering those pictures and scanning them stuff. A lot of this stuff didn't exist on the web, so 75% of the pictures is pictures I never seen before, whether it be of my family or of grills or of celebrities
Mm-hmm.
with my family, however the case may be. I feel like the pictures is really what resonated with me
Right.
more than the stories. I knew the grand scheme of most of the stories. I mean, like I said, it's my family's legacy,
Right.
but like really a lot of them visuals had a nigga fucked up for real.
So I'm not sure if I'm allowed to ask this,
Hmm.
but I've seen little bits and pieces of the book turn into a documentary.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
So let's talk
Well,
about that. How did that come about?
uh,
If you're
I'm not.
allowed to ask.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm under the discretion to speak of, but the book is, you know, being made into a movie. Mouthful of Goals should be able to expect that sometime next year. Lyle, man, Lyle Lindgren, Monomania, the whole crew over there really putting in the legwork to really bring this story to life because some people, books ain't for everybody.
Yeah.
Let's just face it. A lot of people is visual learners.
Right.
To keep it frank. So I feel like to put such an important piece of our history on a screen in a way where people of even different walks of life could consume it, I'm grateful. But yeah, I got the chance in it to play in the documentary, which
That's
I'm
dope.
very proud of. Um, Once again, man,
How was
just
that feeling?
I'm playing my dad in a movie about my dad and my uncle and my family life. So like it's surreal, you know. I don't want to say too much, but I will say we shot a scene in the Coliseum where my parents actually met.
Okay.
So I'm playing in a movie as my dad in the place where my dad met my mom. So like the sense of purpose from all of that just felt like a rush. You know what I'm saying? All of these crazy moments that I've been able to experience in my life through this book and movie. Um, I don't even know what the hell to say, bro. Like it's craziness,
Yeah.
craziness, gratefulness, just overwhelming sense of gratefulness. That there is a group of people that love our story so much that they willing to put their time and efforts and money into bringing this shit from a book to a screen to all the proceedings that follow that. I mean, we've had the opportunity to, do TV shows based off all this shit. Like it's been crazy.
Mhm.
It's been
Feel
crazy.
like a
Just
dream, huh?
man, it feel like a dream, and it feels like I feel such a sense of purpose, and that's all that we seek for every day.
Mhm.
So it's people who's seeking it. I feel like I got an overflow of it, So
That's
it's
real.
like, damn, what to do with all of this? Why all of this purpose, man? It's surreal. So I'm eternally grateful for sure. Of just like I said, their efforts to really feel like this story is important enough to turn into a movie. That should take work, bro. You know what it take to
Yeah.
lug this heavy equipment around all day, let alone the money, the travel, the everything that it takes. They from London, they from the UK, and they really putting our story on the map. Like I'm appreciative for sure.
Nah, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
How did your father? How did, I mean, if you're allowed to talk about it, but how did
Yeah.
your father like think of it? Like you play him.
he he was there for some of the scenes. So like my dad a cool cat, man. So he ain't never gonna show too much,
He was like,
Uh
"Son, do this. You gotta
yeah,
do
nah, he wasn't even like that. He was just laughing.
it."
Just laughing. Cause it's funny, you know what I'm saying? Like I had to cut my beard, I had to hide my hair, like, so it was just funny. A bonding moment, if anything,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like how many people could really truly say, like, my son played me in a movie, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
In one of the scenes, I'm in his car, like that he actually owns now, but it's like an old school that he had back then. And it's just
It's surreal.
it's shit just crazy because it's like I am him in a way,
Hmm.
but I am me. But it's
Hmm.
like so many parallels. I run out of words for this type of
Right.
shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
All right. Yeah, yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Should be crazy, man.
Um, yeah. So going back to family legacy, um, family legacy seems to be a strong theme of your story,
Yeah,
or at
hell yeah.
least one of them. What are some of the core values or lessons passed down from your father that you're actively working to preserve or build upon?
Hard work. Hard work. Like I said, a lot of me getting to see my dad in general was having to pull up to the job. You know what I'm saying? Like this was his job. This was his house. This was his home. Like so, like just seeing how many he put in his 10,000 hours and then some. You know what I'm saying? And I see the benefits that he was able to get out of that, and it's like a lot of the values that I feel like my dad has instilled in me have been silent. They haven't been through conversation. Like I said, he's not a man of many words in that aspect, but just like being able to use his hard work and as an example of what it takes to really be in this shit. Like
Right.
this is not a traditional industry where most people could tell me the amount of work that it requires, let alone how to do it. So to have, like I said, just a in the flesh example of, how to work, what that looks like, how it is to handle the frustrating challenges that come with the job. Like just being able to learn by example has been better than any one-on-one conversation or anything, whether it be the stuff I pick up from him by watching intentionally or kind of just like observing,
Right.
or things that I noticed that I'm doing that I ain't even really intentionally watch. I just picked up on it, and then now I'm just doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like the way he kind of swivel the tools, like little shit. Like I do my shit the same way, then I got my parts that I do different. So it's like all in all, just being able to have his example. Like I work here with him, so I'm under his tutelage. I'm under his wing. So like honestly, just having him as an example has been, that's what he passed down. Just being present in this motherfucker every day,
Right. Right.
like strapping on the lunch pail and really working. Like the hands hurting, shoulder hurting. He's much older now, so I know he ain't feeling as like a spry chicken like he used to, but still he really come in here and grind. So having that example is kind of just like that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Right. Right. So for you,
Yeah.
um, what are some of your personal goals moving forward and continuing your family's legacy or even your legacy?
Yeah. Yeah. I got to show this shit to the world, Jack. Like everybody got to know about what's in this book and what my family bought, but they got to know like I'm the second coming. Like I'm the type of person I don't really get comfortable until I feel like I'm elite at whatever it is I'm doing.
Right.
That's when I could really talk my shit. That's when I can rip it. I'm not a humble person. I'm not. You
Yeah,
feel me?
yeah.
There's nothing about
Now,
you.
one thing about you, you gonna
Yeah,
tell what it
yeah. Oh
is.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
I'm elite shit
yeah.
poppery, if nothing else. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like, really, I'm looking forward to get to that point where I feel comfortable with my 2 feet planted in this shit, to where it's like, all right, like, yeah, I got the backstory, but also like I'm that nigga enough in my own right. You know, that I'm working to be able to talk my shit. So working tirelessly with my head down. There's never a point where you master it, I guess. Um, I feel like these niggas is automatically the masters because they the originators,
Hmm.
but after them, there will be no other versions of them. So like, it's important for me to not feel like I gotta be them. Just be me, let their story fuel mine, but just be me. Like, it's my history to write at the end of the day.
Right.
Just as much as I'm inspired by their history that they wrote.
No, that's dope. That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
And it's again, it's that passion,
Yeah.
that we have that keep us going, and then just even as you're doing it, I don't know if your father or your uncles think of this, but as you doing it, it just make you over time you see the success,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you like, damn,
Yeah. This what happened if I keep doing this.
yeah,
Just like I keep saying earlier, that theme of pressing buttons, seeing what they do. Keeps pressing this one right here. This the button right here.
it's gonna hit.
Like you playing Street Fighter, you button
Yeah,
mashing.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Them kicks, if them low kicks fucking you up, I'm gonna keep low kicking. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like this, yeah. Just figuring out what works, and then once I see that it works, like. And then especially with the technical aspect of certain stuff, like when I'm working on a wax and I'm noticing, if I do that, that happens. But when I do it like
Mhm.
this happens. So like learning on my own has been just as valuable as learning from him,
Right.
So it's all just been such an encompassing experience that a nigga is grateful for
Right.
sure.
So, what advice would you give to a young creator or entrepreneur who are navigating their own transition between different industries?
Um, if you're doing it for the money, you're dead. Cause money changes. You gotta do this shit for a purpose, for a reason that doesn't change. You know what I'm saying? You got to do this shit for something outside of the money. I think this is my first time bringing up money the whole
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Like, I'm not a money driven person. Money is not the root of why I did any of the things that I did, nor why I do what I do now. Like, I let so much passion drive what I do that it's been easy to do these things. It's
Right,
been fun to do these things. It's been satisfying and all them other words and adjectives, those good ones, to really describe how I feel to really do what I'm doing. And so like I feel like driving factors outside of money matter in entrepreneurial aspects. So as long as you find a driving factor outside of the money, you should be all right. I mean, you kind of gotta like it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta love it. You ain't just gonna love everything you doing. But if you just like it and water that seed, you're gonna grow to love it because you're gonna see what comes from it. You know what I'm saying?
right.
It's like going to the gym. But once you see that first cut, you know what I'm saying? Like you in there. You
Right.
locked in. You don't want to leave the gym once you see that first cut. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get swole.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get chiseled. And from there, it's just like, hey, you want to be a bodybuilder or you want to be a runner, you want to be fit, but now you got the options because
Options.
you know what come from the work. You know what come from going to go run at 6 o'clock every day or go and you know what come from it. I feel like I'm a results-based person. I like knowing, all right, what's gonna come from this? You know what I'm saying? If I do this, what's gonna be the after effect? And do I want that after effect? And I'm not a person who's good at doing shit I don't want to do. So really, you got to have a driving factor outside of the money that's really attracting you to whatever it is you're chasing. You'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
So, lastly, um, what do you believe your purpose is on this earth?
Mm. When I was growing up, I used to feel like my purpose was having kids
Right.
and being able to leave a footprint on this world beyond me. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever I instill in them, I feel like they instill within their world. And that's how I continue to live while I'm gone. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I used to feel like it was kids and whatever I poured into them. But as I got older, I realized, man, like shit, like what if I don't get the chance to have kids, or what if I'm with a woman who can't have kids? You got to like that can't be it, basically. So basically that same concept of just pouring into the world in some way and letting that shit trickle down to when you ain't alive no more. Because if I leave a lasting legacy with you in this conversation, and you pass something that I said to you down to your cousin, your little cousin tell her son in 20 years, you know what I'm saying? I'm living. I ain't here, but I'm living, even when I'm gone. So just doing something to leave a lasting legacy. And I just so happen to have a legacy be passed on to me that I feel like I can make my imprint on and pass on to, whether it be the world around me in general with the pieces I create and or the interviews I do or whatever, or it be I have a little son or daughter and I pass them maybe not this, but maybe something.
All right.
Just making myself useful out this bitch really is what I feel like my purpose is. Making sure the world know my family's story has been feeling like my purpose of late. But I want to do that through work, through hard work, through working as hard as they did. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that they're very proud gentlemen. And if they ain't proud, shit, I'm proud for them. You know, so like you got to yell your accomplishments, man. Especially when you this. You got to yell your accomplishments just a little louder because of that, you know, and they very soft-spoken gentlemen. I'm a shit papa. So like I got work to do for them, for me, for the legacy I leave after this. You know, so I feel like that's my purpose. Being me while doing all of that, though, never really conforming to the grand scheme of things, the grand scheme of what the fuck going on out here, because that shit change daily. You know what I'm saying? You got to be the constant. You know, like remember you used to do the science project and you used to have a control. You got to be the control. You know what I'm saying? You got to be the common denominator. Like it got to be something that make you you, and that got to be something that you got to find a way to let resonate in other people. So I feel like that's just my swag, how I talk, how I carry myself. Like everybody fuck with me because I'm so me. You know what I'm saying? Like even if I ain't never half as good as, you know, my forefathers in this industry, I know I was doing this shit with so much swag, goddamn, and it's like, man, shit, yeah, like I continued, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? So just keeping it going in any way, but also my sense of purpose just lies in me never feeling like I found my sense of purpose, even though I found my sense of purpose. So yeah, that's my answer to that for sure.
So do you got any last words for the people?
I don't know, because everybody, I feel like I'm qualified to speak on what I know. And I know a lot of things, but I also don't know shit. So what I say, obviously the obvious, man, be yourself. But nah, really, man, shit, don't crash out here, man. Shit crazy. Head on a swivel. Protect yourself, protect your energy. Calm down. Whatever it is, man, calm down, cause shit always end up being straight in the end. So like, why tweak out when you done seen shit end up being straight at the end so many times before? You know what I'm saying? It always work out. It ain't gonna stop working out now. So like, don't panic, bro. Like, just boo lotch, man. That's all I my bad. That's all I got. Really, like that's really all I feel like I could say. And stop wearing that bullshit in your mouth, man. Stop wearing that bullshit in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Oh man. I'm grateful that my people's really introduced something as cool as grillz to where people can express themselves. But I also feel like the grill police sometimes, because it's just like, look at what my frame of reference is for grillz. Like it's really hard to
you reach that standard,
right? So I could spot bullshit, but then you know my peers is like, man, that shit hard, and it's just like what people think is a good grill baffles me. You know what I'm saying? So do your studying. If you gonna fuck with something, you know what I'm saying, come to them boys. You know what I'm saying? Let me put that touch on you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. But yeah, just stay alive out here, man. Shit crazy.
Yeah,
for sure.
How can the people get a hold of you?
At Philovian, Philovian on Instagram, Twitter. I'm not really the most social mediaist, but nonetheless, yeah, that's my platform. That's where you can reach me for any business inquiries. Hit up Lando Goals at Lando Goals. You can hit me up personally. I really, if you made it this far to the point of the interview, man, appreciate you for letting me yap. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, at Philovian, on Twitter and Instagram.
Well, I appreciate you.
Indeed,
for
indeed.
being part of this. I'm glad that I finally
Yeah,
got
yeah,
to
we got it
interview you.
done, man. We got it
Uh,
done for sure.
we here. I'm
Yeah,
glad. It just it shows me another perspective of you.
yeah. No,
Like
absolutely.
in a good way or great way rather,
Yeah,
and it just gave me all like
yeah,
I just it's so much to take in right now
yeah.
because it's just seeing your family history and just even knowing who you are as a
Mm.
person now it's truly a blessing that I'm sitting here with you.
Yeah, no,
So
same to you, man. I mean, you've been pushing the local culture forward into the masses in a way where it's like you got to have people who give a fuck that much to do it. So like to see somebody who is not only a part of the community but like pushing for what the community means to the world, like we need many more yous, but we ain't gonna get them. So we got to be grateful for the ones that we do got, man. So I appreciate not only the platform, but thankful that there's people like you who make it you're an actual person. You know what I'm saying? It's not just an interview with an interviewer. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to my dog real quick. We just
right,
documenting the shit.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So definitely appreciate your platform, man. And yeah, brother. It's mutual. It's all mutual,
for
dog.
sure.
I'm glad you started doing this shit. Cause I remember we was, having these convos just off the strength. So
Yeah,
now I'm glad that the world could see the Rolodex of creators and tastemakers that you got access to
yeah,
naturally though.
yeah.
It's not like hey, here's my interview package. Like you ain't pitching shit.
Nah.
It's just a matter of, yo, what you doing this day? Let's
Hmm.
chop it. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? That matters. And
And,
shooting the shit with like-minded
yeah,
people, you don't get the chance to do that too often.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So definitely appreciate you. Indeed.
And then the overall reason why I created this platform is because you talked about legacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason I'm documenting people is because when we get older, you have kids
Yeah.
or you have great
Yeah.
grandkids, whatever,
Yeah.
you'd be able to see
That's crazy.
what your mindset was
Yeah, that's
down
a
the
fact.
line.
That's a fact. Yeah.
So it's just,
Yeah.
that's the overall purpose of why I created this platform.
Facts.
So when you talk about family legacy, I'm
Yeah.
glad you did because this is what this is for,
I'm telling you. That's all this shit boiled down to, brother.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The pictures that our forefathers can show us, man, it means so much more than they'll ever know. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? We fall in love with pictures of the 90s and all these eras. Man, that's their life. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So we document this shit as our everyday shit, but in the 2050s, motherfuckers gonna be like, man, in the 2020s, they ass was, you know what I'm saying? And we gonna be the gems,
Yeah.
just like we find the older gems, we gonna be the gems of yesteryear to somebody in the future,
Right.
man. So for
Right.
sure,
All
that's
right.
real. That's real right there. I
Yeah.
might have a son or daughter see this shit in 20 years, you know what I'm saying? When they
Right.
could watch YouTube on their palm or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, this is my daddy. So yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate the platform, man.
Yeah.
Indubitably.
It's all love, man.
For shit show, man.
We out.
Yeah.